evolutionary process going on. But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Hi, my name is Naquan Willett. I'm a current E-Fellow at the University of Baltimore. I'm the founder of Investment Neighbor, and we give retail investors an edge in the marketplace through primary and secondary research. And because investing in the stock market is such a challenge for everyday investors, we hit the ground to talk to everyday customers, employees, and managers about industries and companies of interest.
My name is Ike from Piebald, and I graduated from the Business Marketing Program.
My name is Emily. I graduated from eFellow's program.
My name is Toma.
Our company is called Zetty Taste. We focus on ready-to-eat meal that's easy and quick for consumers to eat who's having a harder time to finding themselves to be in the kitchen to prep for their meal. So we're bringing the next phase and next level to the frozen market.
My name is Clarissa Cozart, and I'm an E-Fellow at the University of Baltimore. Tailor Fit is a fashion brand dedicated to meeting the needs of tall, slim boys. As a mom of a tall, slim boy, we had a lot of challenges finding clothes that fit properly. He often struggled, feeling confident in the clothes that he wear. So I wanted to solve that problem as his mother. So that's what I did.
Hi, I'm Jenna Willard, and I'm a senior at University of Baltimore in the entrepreneurship program. My venture is Grease Garage. Grease Garage is a shared economy car garage where car enthusiasts come together to work on their vehicle at their leisure. We provide the tools, they bring the elbow grease.
I'm Samantha Mellerson. I'm an MBA student at the University of Baltimore. My business is Heart Sam LLC. We take premium quality knitted fabrics and combine it with hand-drawn Afrocentric depictions to form wearable art.
My name is Adriana Duvall. I am a current student at the University of Baltimore. I currently own a company called Single Bays, which is a personalized t-shirt which has your interests and hobbies listed on the back of it. It is a t-shirt community style idea where multiple different people with interests that are similar can meet up and make new friends.
Hi, my name is Ashley Norman, and I'm a student in the MS program for nonprofit management. I started an online store called Plasticology, and in my store I sell things that are plastic-free packaging. So this is to promote a zero-waste lifestyle, and things can get very unique, so check it out.
So welcome everybody who's in our audience here physically. It's great to have an event that's live again and exciting. Welcome to everybody who's on virtually. There's more of you on virtually than there's in the audience, but physically. But it's great to have everybody and have your participation. This is an event that I always look forward to it, and it's a really important event for University of Baltimore and for the Merrick School in particular. When we teach business, why do we teach business? Well, we teach business in order to help our employers, help our students get jobs. But what is the most important thing about a business? And I think it's about getting things done, right? I mean, we can teach lots of theory about business, but in the end of the day, we've got to sort of apply it. And so what better way to apply it than in entrepreneurship and creating businesses? I mean, that's a place where we really learn how to apply things. And so we get to see, students who are really committed themselves to want to do this application, and I hope you enjoy that event. Excuse me. So I really want to thank, I want to thank our judges. Henry's going to introduce everybody in a couple of minutes. I want to thank our sponsors, and I particularly want to thank those people who have been, I see some of them here, who are been mentors to our students, our student entrepreneurs through the year, and particularly to our competitors. And I especially want to thank the students and our alumni who are dedicated themselves to coming out for this competition. So you'll all get a chance to vote as well, correct, Henry? And so this is quite participative, and So thank you for coming, and I'm going to pass it over to Henry Mortimer, who's the director of our Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and who is really, he's the guy who really runs this. So thank you.
Thank you, Murray. Thank you all, and welcome. It is great to be back in person, right? I mean, what an experience it is to be back here, to see all of you. And happy birthday to us. I don't know whether, Murray, you were able to indicate, but it is, as you can see up there, our 10th anniversary. And we'll get into that in a minute. But I just want to say we are so appreciative that you've chosen to spend your evening with us tonight, online and in person. I can't say that enough. I kind of feel like Kermit the Frog on the Muppet Show. Yay! Like we get to say we're here in person again, right? So we're here to celebrate entrepreneurship at UBalt. And I know I speak for everyone when I could say I could not be happier to be gathered together, IRL, you know, as the kids say, in Wright Theater, on campus once again, and hosting this live and in person. I've been waiting a long time, it seems, to do this again, to have the chance to shake a few hands, offer some much-needed hugs of encouragement, and to see your bright, shining faces in the crowd, and hear your loud applause for tonight's participants. That was a prompt. Let's get loud, right? Come on, everybody. Make some noise. There you go. Feels good. And believe me, they've earned it. And I know that you all will enjoy yourselves tonight. And as I mentioned, equally exciting and perhaps even fittingly, it's the 10th anniversary of this competition. And in a moment, you know, I will introduce tonight's participants and talk about the competition, but I just want to take a few minutes to honor this momentous occasion and what it means to the students and staff at the Merrick School of Business specifically, and for the University of Baltimore and the greater community in general. Since its inception in 2013, the Rise to the Challenge Business Pitch Competition has been encouraging our students and alumni alike to do just that, to stretch themselves emotionally and sometimes physically, to think innovatively and to find new ways to act strategically, to move outside of their comfort zones, and even to scare themselves a little bit, and to overcome obstacles, which can often include a full schedule of classes, a full-time job, and a family. And they do this to achieve their goals, which is to turn their dreams of starting a business into a reality. In other words, spending 4 to 6 weeks preparing like some kind of elite athlete for this event, this night, on their own or with a team, working with a mentor or two, soliciting advice and accepting criticism, mastering new techniques, practicing in front of a mirror or a pet or a child, all in the effort to seize the moment and, yes, rise to the occasion, overcome their challenges, and possibly win some or all of the prize money tonight. And why, you probably ask? Well, at UBalt, we believe that competition is an important force in the marketplace. It spurs innovation, invites critical review, and creates opportunity for determining value. So, about a decade or so ago, Professor J.C. Weiss, wave, JC, who possesses deep experience in the venture capital industry and has a passion for entrepreneurship, sought a way to allow student entrepreneurs to learn what he'd experienced during his many years of working with and advising founders of early-stage, high-growth ventures. Thus, Rise to the Challenge was born, a business pitch competition providing members of the UBalt community with ready access to seed funding, professional services, and other resources. And although the competition has evolved over the past 10 years, our main goal has remained the same, affording participants the chance to test their concepts, meet potential investors, get expert feedback, gain some recognition, and possibly fail, but in a safe environment where lessons learned can be applied before entering a real-world competitive marketplace where failure has a higher cost. And as you can see from the quotes from past participants, this competition has meant more than simply winning a contest and earning some seed money, though that doesn't hurt either. Participating in Rise to the Challenge teaches them valuable life lessons, how to meet and work with others, how to take criticism and advice, how to learn new tricks, etc. And I also want to mention that Rise to the Challenge is sponsored by the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, or CEI, which for more than 15 years has served as the front door of entrepreneurship in Baltimore, encouraging and supporting entrepreneurial learning among UBalt students, faculty, and alumni. Our ongoing goal is to help students and others launch and grow business ventures while providing opportunities to engage and collaborate with the Baltimore community. More important, as we continue to expand our offerings, including a recent transformative donation from the J. Ripley Entrepreneurship Fund to support the Most Promising Business Award, we continue to support the mission of the university and do more than provide a student with the means to earn a college degree. Through RISE and other programs, we can take students who have an interest in being and show potential as entrepreneurs and shape them into real entrepreneurs with real businesses that contribute to the economy of Maryland, all the while obtaining an education from an accredited university. And this is why we believe opportunities like RISE matter, and why we plan to continue to offer it for the next 10 years and beyond. The University of Baltimore recognizes the important role emerging businesses play in the economic health of the Baltimore region, and we are proud of our role in fostering an entrepreneurial spirit in our students. We believe that by offering Rise to the Challenge and other innovative programs, along with a means to earn a college degree, the University of Baltimore can truly change the course of a person's life. Now, enough about us, right? No more PSAs. On with the competition. So, the rules for tonight are as follows. Each of the finalists will pitch in one of two categories, aspiring and existing businesses, and we'll go alphabetically. We'll start with aspiring. They'll have 3 to 5 minutes to pitch their businesses pitch their businesses. Then the participants will appear in front and answer questions from the judges, who have up to 5 minutes combined to ask questions, with a few minutes to tally the scores. And the most important element, I believe, in having it here is you, the audience. You all play a role too. You will have a chance to vote for your favorite contestant. All you have to do is log on to slido.com and search for our event code. And as Murray indicated, we have a few thank yous tonight. First, I'd like to thank and introduce our judges for the competition. Please wave when I call your name. Tamira Lucas, founder of the Cube Co-work. Thank you, Tamira. Jay Nwachu, president and CEO of Innovation Works. Ethan Kazi, founder and CEO of the Canton Group. And Brian Saville, vice president of Saville Food Services. Thank you, judges. Thank you all in advance. All right, now, who are our finalists? In the aspiring business category, we have Clarissa Kozart, Tailored Fit. Shout out to Clarissa. Yeah, bring your family. It works every time. Subbing in for Ike tonight for Zetty Taste will be Emily Kim. So anytime you see Ike, we'll scratch it out and we'll say Emily. Cheers for them. Jonah Willard with Grease Garage. All right. And Naquan Willett, Investment Neighbor. All right, let's hear it for these folks. Thank you. Loud claps. Now, in the existing business category, we have Adriana Duval, Single Bays. Whoop, whoop. Samantha Mellerson, Heart Sam. All right. You're getting the hang of this. I know we're all out of practice, aren't we? And Ashley Norman with Plasticology. All right, well, congrats to all of them for making it to the finals. So you might be wondering what's at stake. Well, here is a list of the prizes. As you can see, there's nearly $30,000 up for grabs tonight. And there's another special award coming up later, but I'll leave that as a surprise. All right, on with the show. Don't forget to vote, that is for sure. Now, prior to the pandemic, it was at this point in the evening, as you can tell, that I would be encouraging you all, the members of the audience, to cheer and cheer loudly for tonight's competition. and the competitors. And since many of you are now no longer separated from us by glass screens and light years of cyberspace, let's give it a go again. Go ahead, make some noise. Come on, cheer them on. Yeah. And as for everyone who's watching the live stream, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't make some noise simply because you're seated somewhere on the other side of our cameras, or, rather than here with us in Uvalde. I think go for it. Cheer loudly. Come on, cyberspace. Just be kind to your neighbors. Thank you. And everyone here or far, you all can make your voice heard by voting for your favorite contestant, as I said, with Slido.com, and just search for that number. The crowd favorite wins $1,000, right? That doesn't stink. All right, is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? Yeah. All right, it's showtime. Let's give away some money. Our first aspiring finalist is Clarissa Cozart. She's an entrepreneurship fellow or an e-fellow and founder of Tailored Fit, a fashion line for tall boys that will allow customers to shop waist to inseam. Come on out, Clarissa.
Hello. Oh, whatever.
Right to advance, yep.
Okay. Hey, baby. Hello, everyone. The research states that it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. So many of us choose clothes that make us feel comfortable and confident. But what if you don't have that option? Well, that's been the story for me and my son Samaj. That's been the story of his life. He's been tall and slim his entire life. So we've always had challenges finding clothes that fit. Even though the perk to being tall is getting things off the top shelf, the challenge is you can't find clothes. Although the picture in the middle is just a little bit exaggerated, this is a true reflection of how our day go. It could be time-consuming in department stores, shopping for hours and hours, getting frustrated. It becomes emotional, and it can get expensive finding alterations to fix what he needs to wear. But I wasn't the only mom. In a Facebook group for parents of tall kids, the mom used these quotes to describe what they would do if they had no options for their clothes. They used things like, we buy used, we'll do nothing, we'll just settle. But you shouldn't feel hopeless when shopping for your child. The children's apparel market is an estimated $52 billion, but they failed to fill a hole. Although places like the Children's Place and The Gap offer alterations like adjustable waist and long options, the quantities go fast. And Too Tall is actually a tall, slim clothing line for men, but our tall boys become tall men, so why not address them? The solution is Tailored Fit. We produce the most common sizes for tall boys. We use unique sizing and small batch production so we have inventory on hand, and our manufacturing is right here in Baltimore so we can ship sooner and offer convenience to our parents. Our business model focuses on building right here in Baltimore with our unique sizing, and we'll ship via UPS right from our home as we start off. And as we grow, we'll expand across the United States. These dots actually represent the number of parents from these different states where they need our items now. Our total addressable market is determined by childstats.gov. There were 29.4 million boys in the United States, and roughly 1 in 10 of them are considered tall. So at $40 a garment, on the low end, it's $116 million, and on the high end, it's $232 million. Our sales and marketing. Now, our parents are millennials, so we know we'll do social media campaigns and things like that. But what we discovered during our primary research was that our parents provided their emails and would love to be contacted directly as we develop products. Also, my son runs track and field, and I'm a track mom. So at the events, I'm out there and I'm hustling and bustling. So we'll do our direct marketing right at the track meets, and moms have even already signed up to to be a liaison for their sons in different sports arenas. Well, my name is Clarissa Cozart, and I'm the founder of Tailored Fit. I have 16 years in customer service experience, but I also own an apparel decorating business with my husband. So we have contacts with vendors, we do order fulfillment, we already know some of the process as far as sourcing and things like that. But I couldn't do it alone. We have Gregory Hardy, who's a pattern and sample maker. He has 46 years of tailoring experience. And Lifting Labels is a company right here in Baltimore that's helping bring manufacturing back here, and they agreed to do our small batch production. Today, I'm seeking a $30,000 investment, one, to do product development. We know we have a great product, we just need to get it out there. We want to build our premier e-commerce site, which will have customer profiles where we can track our son's height and weight from the beginning so we know as they grow the products we'll need. Our research and development, product and inventory, marketing and administration. Any questions?
Yeah, that's right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for her. It's not easy going first, is it? That's for sure. Great job. All right, let's turn it over to the judges. Maybe Tamira, start us off. You have some background in this field.
I do have background in this field. Really good job. I love the audience support, you know, if anything.
The whole first row is my favorite.
But I wanted to know a little bit more about your cost, because you didn't talk a lot about your cost. And so what is the average cost to your consumer for a garment, and what are your profit margins?
So right now we're starting with a pair of khaki pants because we want to enter into the back to school market, because in Baltimore City there's roughly about 45 schools that require uniforms. And we're developing our prototype. So as of right now, it was $15 for material, and about $15. It takes about an hour to make a pair of khaki pants based on some of our development that we've done. So we're going to sell the pants for about $40 or so. We're hoping to get a profit margin around 30% starting off, but through the research, we found that our consumers really want athletic wear because 94% of our boys are into sports. So joggers is a much lower cost. So we're thinking about pivoting to start with athletic wear as opposed to the khaki pants.
Great question. Any other judges have a question for Clarissa?
I do. It's funny, as you're going through this, I'm thinking about my 6-year-old son because I'm anticipating he's going to grow the same way. And we have to shop for khaki pants, and we struggle to do that. What I'm trying to figure out is, I think you kind of maybe alluded to this at the end, small batch production, but how do you go about predicting sizes so that you know what to plan for?
So we've been doing a lot of research, a lot of customer discovery. There are Facebook groups dedicated for moms with these exact issues. So we've been collecting all the data. And when you look at a standard chart, it kind of goes up and out all at the same time. So my son specifically, you know, he has like a 30-inch inseam, but his waist is only like a 24. So the more feedback we get, we know where our kids stand, and that's what we'll start with. And in our products, we want to offer QR codes in each style number. So as our parents wear the garments, they can give us direct feedback. We know exactly which garment they're talking about. So if they give feedback like this is too short, then we have to reevaluate as we move forward.
How do you compete with a product on the market right now? Like my son would get the ones with the adjustable bands with the buttons on the inside to control for that issue. Is that something that you would consider a feature, or?
So we actually want to eliminate that feature because my son wears those, but if you notice, they bunch around the waistline. So he's not always comfortable. I mean, he pulls them so tight sometimes that he actually breaks the adjustable waist. So we want them to feel confident that they shouldn't have to draw their belts as tight as they can go. So if we can get the waist size right with the inseam, then we can eliminate that, and that's how we'll penetrate the market because we'll be the only one offering it.
Hi, Clarissa.
Hello.
This on? Yeah. You're not only solving a problem, but you're solving a problem for your son, which is very nice. So there's a lot of customizable clothing companies out there. I guess what would make you different is that you have inventory in stock. So how many, kind of getting to Jay's question, how many SKUs do you think you'll have to carry, or how many different sizes? Is it 5, 10, 20?
I'm not quite sure yet, but from the research that we've done so far, our age range is 6 to 19 or elementary to middle school. So far, we've had like 5 very dominant sizes, but the inseams as they, it's like the 30, the 32, the 28, that inseam. So we only need to adjust the waist just a little bit on some. So I'm not absolutely sure right now, but we'll discover it more as we grow.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a 12-year-old tall son as well, so I can certainly relate to this issue. So you mentioned that the shipping would be via UPS from your main facility. Did you look at all at using like Amazon and selling through them and their delivery and kind of plugging into existing ecosystems when planning out the model?
No, not yet at least. As our small business, I chose UPS because that's what we currently use in my other business, so we're already familiar with how that process works and all those things. But as we grow, I'll have to look at different opportunities on cost and things like that. And Amazon will be a great opportunity to reach a broader market as well.
Great. All right. Great questions, judges. Well done, Clarissa. And I think there ought to be a special award for a child who gets embarrassed multiple times by their parent.
He can stand up and show him who's my inspiration.
There we go. At least he didn't.
Thank you.
She didn't drag him up here on stage, that's for sure. Great. So while the judges are tallying their scores, we'll give you a minute. I just want to thank our first round judges, the volunteers, the many volunteers, including our first round judges whose tireless efforts made this evening possible. As you can see here on the slide, one of them might be in the audience, John Zucknick. Attaboy. Round of applause for first round judges. Yep. And that's a lot of type on there, but as you can see, there's a lot of people, some who may be in here as well, who are often in the background working tirelessly. Tom Shipley's here. I think he's up there as well. Tom was one of our longtime mentors. So thank you to everyone, all these industry experts. As I mentioned, one of the tasks for the Center for Entrepreneurship is to introduce our students to the business community, and this is probably the #1 way we do that, helping them make connections. I say it many times that it is nice to win a prize, but the biggest prize that you can get is having the ability to talk to people that you may or may not know, and have the opportunity to get to know. So, judges, you need another minute? You ready to go? All right. As you are crossing your T's, let's bring out our next aspiring business finalist. Is not Ike, but Emily Kim, who is also an alumni and co-founder of Zetty Taste, which is planning to offer frozen, ready-to-eat, nutritious meals for young adults in their mid-20s and 30s. Let's bring out Emily.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. My name is Emily. It's great to be on the other side of the room. It's been a long time since I've been here, actually. So my company is called Zetty Taste. We started this back in New York. I was eating $1 slice of pizza every day because in New York, that's the only thing you can actually afford. So I called my friends, Tomo and Ike, which are my co-founders, and I told them, honestly, I would love to get some protein in my body, and it's very difficult as I'm working 9 to 10, what the job is actually supposed to be 9 to 5. So I told them there needs to be some way for us to figure out how we can meal prep in a nicer way so that we can have a balanced nutritional diet. So we created a product that allows us to have our product that could be microwaved. It's currently in the market. The chicken breasts that are currently in the market is unsatisfying, out of the date, which means that the innovations for frozen market is actually not quite there yet. And it actually lacks in nutrition because it has a lot of sodium protein, sodium consumptions, and also a lot of sugar that contains in it. And also, proportions are actually controlled, meaning if you're big, if you are trying to go bulkier, they're already proportioning what you can eat. where it should be more freedom to how much protein you should be consuming. So I introduce you to guys our frozen sous vide chicken that's ready to eat, which has a perfect taste when you microwave it for 2 minutes from frozen, not thawed, from frozen. So it's pre-cooked, pre-seasoned. Microwave it just for 2 minutes, and it'll give you just like chef has cooked for you in the spot. So we are also USDA pre-USDA certified. So we're actually going through USDA certified process, and we are excited to announce you guys that we are actually in a Union Kitchen Accelerator program that along with our cohorts, who's actually one of the cohort is Compass Coffee and also Snackland, which has been invested by Mark Cuban through Shark Tank. So this is the program that we're in, and we're excited to announce that this will be launching in about another quarter of this year. We are expecting to launch within the process of schedule Q4 of this year. So frozen food that's actually tastes good is very hard to do. And also to maintain the texture is very difficult to do. Flavoring, texture, and nutrition is the only thing that we are focusing and making sure that we hit every point that we need to make. So who is our customer? His name is Jason. He's currently in a finance, working for data analysis. He's a gym nerd. He works out a lot. He's big. He's trying to go bulk. But all the proportions that he's actually getting for the food nutritions, it's very proportioned. So he can only eat proportion side, which if you know, a lot of meal planning companies that already have proportion sizes that you can only take, and you would have to buy multiple meals to be filled. So what we do is, for Jason, we're making him just buy a bag of our product, pop it in the microwave, and get yourself a frozen broccoli or whatever, and then just microwave the whole thing. And in 5 minutes, you already have 5 days worth of meal planning for you. This video was supposed to be playing, but it's actually not playing. It's on our fault. But this was a video of our social media videos that actually shows how much of people that are posting every day for gym life, meal prep, fitness, bodybuilding, has millions of views and millions of posts who actively post this every day. So this market that we're currently working on is 71.4, that's 0.1 of the market. Our revenue opportunities is for our website, e-commerce, and also partnership with our local gyms, and also retail channels that we're actually getting, going to be in Whole Foods, Target, and Giant. We're currently working with Union Kitchen, which they already have 8 grocery chains throughout the DC, and we'll be actually launching with them within the Q4 of this year. So we have competitions, which are Kevin Natural Foods, Purdue Chicken, and Tyson Chicken. We're currently focusing on flavor, texture, and the proportion control, ready to eat, long shelving life. Honestly, if you're the buyer for us, 6 months shelving life is a great phenomenon for them because we are not going to go perish very quickly. So you can actually store them, which is not a loss for the buyers as well. And we're also focusing on the consumer side and also the buyer side, which is our bigger retail chains. So our projection is when we launch, we have 8 grocery chains that we're already in for Union Kitchen. And throughout the whole Q3 of 2024, we will be working with Whole Foods, Giant, and Target, and all the name brands that there is in the States. And the projection is for us to make $835K, and that is being a very conservative number for us. This number has been provided by Union Kitchen cohorts that has already been doing this already and has been already successful with their projections models that we currently have. And again, a conservative number that we have. So capital plan for this, once we launch, we want to launch with a bigger bang. So for us to win this, it'll help us to have more vocal on the digital side and also be able to speak louder and target in the bullseye of our actual customer who's going to be, such as bodybuilders and someone who's actually trying to get into fit. So this capital will actually get us to a good position. And this is our team, myself and Tomokura and Ike. I also have a very good experience in the CPG, and I also have 2 restaurants that I've built before graduation at UBalt. Tomo focuses on finance, Ike understands operations. So we're very excited to show you guys and talk about our company in this great settings. And for the next year meal prepping, I would love to see for you guys to try our Zetty Taste. Thank you.
Great job, Emily. Do you want to bring out your team for
Yes,
Q&A?
yes.
Can we borrow one of the mics, judges?
Come on. Yeah.
Let's hear it for the Zetty Taste team.
Emily, great job. You're a natural up there. So I'm in the food service space, and we sell a lot of frozen chicken. And you're right, there's not a lot of good quality out there. But forgive me, because I do have an older microwave at home, but I can't imagine a frozen piece of chicken heating up in a 2-minute time span. I think I heated up some chicken last week, and it was fresh. And it took about 2.5 minutes. So what's the science behind it?
So would you like to answer? I already have a mic. So if they're okay, I'll go ahead and answer. It's actually called a cooking method called sous vide. So the chicken is already cooked, which with the lowest temperature, and we cook it for a long time, a period, which will allow you, when you microwave, it'll actually stay within the temperature and the texture that you desire. And we actually tested with one of the lowest watt of the microwave because we were thinking college students could be also using this. And at college, they have a very, very bad microwave. So we were, one of the watt was, I believe it was 900. And it took us only 2 minutes from frozen to thaw. So it's like, to answer your question, the cooking method is sous vide.
Right, yeah, I'm very familiar with sous vide.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the microwavable part that is
Right.
it's fascinating. So yeah, I'm very interested in seeing the product. That sounds
Awesome.
very cool.
Great question. He's a ringer tonight for the food companies, for sure. Anybody else have a question? Any other judges? Tamira?
I do have a question. So what is your, I guess, your scaling strategy? Because right now you're only offering chicken. I don't eat chicken. So, I mean, I like quick meals too and healthy.
I'm actually going to answer that question. My name is Ike. In terms of scaling, right now we really wanted to just focus on the protein option. We're thinking about having a B2B option later on, after maybe looking into what our target market actually wants within the space. So right now, the sous vide chicken would only really benefit people who are okay with eating chicken as a protein. Maybe we might expand later on to other products that work with the sous vide method. But for right now, we're just focusing on that protein.
But just to add a little bit more for expansion, obviously we want our chicken to be our hero SKU, so that we're going to be devoting a lot of time focusing on to that. We make a statement into the market, understanding that microwavable chicken is okay to eat. After that, we are going to tap into vegan options, and that's something that we are discussing constantly. But for now, like what Ike has said, I think focusing on one particular product to make sure that this SKU is going to be a hero SKU is something that we need to really devote our time.
Can you walk me through the supply chain and the costs involved in each stage?
Sure.
Yeah. So currently we're looking to package 4 individually wrapped chicken into 1 bag, and we're looking to market this at $15 price, which can seem high. So comparing to like competitors like Purdue and Tyson's, which you mentioned, we're looking at 2.5 cents per gram, and we're looking to each chicken around 150 grams. So that's like a whole chicken. Compared to our competitors where they might be 1.5 cents. So there is a slight difference just because we are obviously smaller, they're much more bigger. As we progress and as we increase the production, those costs will be better. Margin cost-wise, we're looking at around 43% when we sell directly to consumers, but if we're looking at retail, distribution costs, et cetera, goes in, which brings us down to around 18%. But in case of larger volumes, those costs would be rather justified. Personal story, but rather embarrassing. I spent $4,000 $4,000 on McDonald's, Burger King, and Chick-fil-A last year, looking at my credit card statements. So, you know, all this chicken is what? Convenient, taste-wise great. For me, it's like, it's more about a change in lifestyle, healthier lifestyle. Instead of going to those fast food chains, maybe I could do it for now because I'm young and healthy, but eventually that's not gonna really work out. So for me, just having this convenience thing in my freezer, pop it in the microwave, ready to go, much, much easier.
Great. All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great questions. All right, judges, time to tally your scores. And while they're doing that, I just want to remind everybody to vote. We've seen 2 so far, so go to slido.com and punch in that code. And then also just take a moment to talk a little bit about the Center for Entrepreneurship and the role we play on campus. We serve as a bridge from the classroom to help students gain real-world practical experience to advance their careers out in the real world. Most importantly, you know, I want you to know that you don't need to be a business major to come to the center. You just need an idea for an enterprise and the passion and drive to turn your dream into a reality. So I invite anyone to come by for a visit, which we can do once again. We're no longer only operating in a virtual environment. So, judges, how are we doing? You all need another second or two? Pretty good? All right. Well, then let us move on to our next competitor. Let's bring out our third aspiring business finalist, who is also an E-Fellow, Jonah Willard, who is founder of Grease Garage, a planned shared economy car garage where car enthusiasts can meet to work on their vehicles at their leisure. Jonah, come on out.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name's Jonah Willard, and my venture is Grease Garage. Grease Garage is a DIY auto shop where car enthusiasts can come together to work on their vehicle at their leisure. Gearheads know how important it is to have the proper conditions and tools when wrenching on their vehicle. A few years ago, I was lying down on the cold concrete working on my old Jeep. Not only was it uncomfortable, but I never had the tools I needed. I'd constantly be having to run out to the store to purchase an expensive tool I would use maybe one time. That's where the idea for Grease Garage was born. Grease Garage is every gearhead's dream. Grease Garage is going to offer garage space, lifts, tools, and comfortable conditions for your gearhead. It's also going to be a community where car enthusiasts can come together to hang out in the lounge, play pool, or even just, hang out. Our target market are car enthusiasts who enjoy working on their vehicle. We'd also like to target people who don't have tools or space. In addition to that, we'd like to target people who want to get involved in the DIY community, but they have no idea where to start. Grease Garage is going to initially start off with a phased approach. What I mean by this is basically starting off small initially, having little garage space and fewer tools, lower overhead initially, and then expanding from there. After testing the water, we'd like to scale up to eventually have pool tables, an exclusive lounge, and many more amenities where exclusive members can join. So we don't have really any immediate competition in the local area, although we do have some competitors elsewhere. Shady Tree Garage is located in Pennsylvania, and they don't offer a membership option. They have very limited tool selection, and they don't have a hangout spot. American DIY Garage is located in Virginia Beach, and although they do have a hangout spot, it's very limited, and they also don't offer a membership option, so it can get very expensive quickly. We're going to offer 2 different revenue models. The first is going to be the membership structure. This structure is going to be a monthly membership fee that customers will pay in order to get unlimited access to tools, the garage space, and the exclusive lounge. In addition to the membership structure, we're also going to be offering an hourly model. This hourly model is going to be $45 an hour, where you can come in, get the space, get the lifts and the tools you need, and then go from there. I'd like to use the funds from tonight's winning to conduct a feasibility study. This study will allow me to do deeper market research in addition to getting my pricing and cost model dialed in. I'd also like to reassess the remainder of the funds after the feasibility study once I get a better understanding. Are you ready to shift this idea into the next gear? Remember, we provide the tools, you bring the elbow grease. Thank you.
Great job, Jonah. Excellent. Great job. All right, Jay, you want to lead us off? You have a question for Grease Garage?
Sure. Great idea, by the way. I am not a car person at all, but I do have to run out to get tools all the time because I don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Have you given thought to what your overhead costs might look like? Are you having like professional people available to answer questions, or are you expecting folks to really know what they're doing and you're simply providing space?
Yeah, so I don't know if you have the investment summary in front of you, but I have rough numbers for the overhead in that. But the feasibility study is really going to allow me to determine the particular tools I need for the initial launch. Because, you know, it's kind of hard to say whether or not you need 20 screwdrivers or whatever. So that's kind of my thought process there. And then down the line, I'd like to offer workshops where basically people can come in on a Sunday and we'd have people kind of show them how to change their alternator, and it would be more of like a hands-on thing. So that would be our growth model.
So, just to clarify, so target market ideally are car enthusiasts who already work on their cars, but through educational sessions and trainings, you might be able to bring in more people into that space who are not necessarily there.
Exactly, because like I know plenty of guys that want to get involved in it, but it's just so overwhelming when you don't have the tools, the overhead to get the tools, and then you've got to watch a YouTube video of some random guy. You got to hope that he's right, and then, you know, it can get really overwhelming. Thanks for the question.
Great presentation. I could think of a lot of friends who would love to go to a place like this. I'm not a car guy, but I could certainly see this being a great idea. My one concern would be, I would imagine that every single person that brings their car there would need a lift. Is that right?
So I'd like to offer pits for guys that maybe they don't need to actually get their vehicle off the ground, where they could just work underneath it. It would be really easy just to do, I don't know, if you're working with the exhaust manifold or anything kind of underneath the car where you don't have to have it on an actual lift.
Okay.
You could still get underneath of it, and then that would be a lot cheaper than having, 20 lifts. We could have, say, maybe 4 lifts and then, 10 pits or whatever. So then that way, unless you're doing something where you really need to change the tire and you need the car jacked up or some serious suspension work, you'd probably get away with just doing a pit.
That makes a lot of sense. So how many square feet do you think per location you would need?
Yeah, so I was kind of toying around with the square footage. I'm thinking I'd like to have like around 3,000 square feet. And then, like I said, initially rent just to keep my overhead down. And then after testing the waters, scale up.
Great job.
Thank you.
Looks like maybe Tamira
Sorry,
had a mic
Henry.
up first.
You know, I just got really excited because this is like the co-working space for cars. So first of all, make sure you reach out to me because I have some ideas because this is my expertise. But have you thought about the operations of this, like how you're going to manage the memberships, right? So like you have 100 memberships, but you only have 10 pits. How do you kind of manage that?
Yeah, so in terms of kind of reserving your pit or your lift, I'd probably have a website where you could go in. And then, like I said, it's really going to be easier once I scale up and have a lot more. But initially, I'd like to keep it low so that way, the same guy's not reserving the lift every Saturday. You kind of have to reserve it through a website. And then the guys that don't need the lift, they could just work in the space and then use the tools that they need. Because not everyone's going to need a lift or a pit. A lot of guys are just going to be coming in and just tinkering. They don't have to have it on anything. They could just be tinkering with it and then hang out in the lounge.
Have you thought about making this a space that's comfortable for women as well? Because when I get mad at my husband and I need something done to my car, I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've considered the idea of having the workshops, kind of having a woman come in and then teach how to work on it, and then having a women's only class, just from the basics of, oil change all the way up to whatever those workshops would be. So yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
did you have another question?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a really cool idea. Did you look into some of the operational components as it relates to insurance, liability? Obviously, you've got people that aren't trained going in, working on their vehicles, a lot of opportunity for injury, a lot of opportunity for somebody making, basically messing up their car even worse. So would there be a mechanic kind of on staff that they could pay to help, or would be there to kind of address those types of issues? Somebody rents a space for an hour, they do something to their vehicle, it's not leaving.
Right.
How do you deal with those types of issues?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've considered having someone there to operate the lifts, so not having any customers even touch the lift until someone's around. Then that way that'll eliminate that issue. And then, like I said, down the line, I would really love to have a mechanic on site, and then also sell my own oil and whatever. And then that way, the guy, you could just go in and grab the guy and say, "Hey, man, I got an issue here." But yeah, I'd probably have to put a disclaimer, like, unfortunately things happen, and some people, maybe they can't get their lift off that same day, and then everyone would have to get pushed back. But I really don't know what else I could do about that other than just kind of giving everyone a forewarning. And that's how the one in Virginia Beach does it. So they just say, unfortunately, like, these are subject to change, and there's really nothing we can do in case that happens. Good question.
Great questions.
Yep.
Well done. Well, good answers. Give a round of applause.
Thank you.
To Greek Garage.
Thank you.
Great job. Good job. I told you you'd have fun tonight. Aren't these great pitches, huh? Great ideas. I mean, these are idea stage. Wait till you see the existing businesses. All right. So, judges, while you're tallying, just want to remind everybody to vote. $1,000 goes to crowd favorite, and $1,000 can make a difference, certainly with an aspiring business, to help move the needle. And then also just want to make sure everybody sticks around after the judges after the pitches are over. We'll leave the judges to do some tallying, to divide up the winners, and we will go next door to the Bogomoni room where we can gather for great food from Rouge Catering. We have a pixelated photo booth. If you've never used that, it's a lot of fun. We have a birthday cake to celebrate 10 years, and as I mentioned, we'll be giving out our awards. All right, exactly. There we go. Show me the money. All right, judges, you need another second? Are you ready to roll? All right, looks like they are finished. So next up, we have in our aspiring business category, our final one this evening is another E-Fellow, Naquan Willett, founder of Investment Neighbor, a subscription service that provides financial, market, and economic data to help retail investors make independent decisions. Naquan, come on out.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Naquan Willett. I'm the founder of Investment Neighbor. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic caused an influx of investors interested in the stock market. GameStop and AMC built the confidence in these investors to essentially control their own investment portfolios. This attitude accelerated the number of white and blue-collar workers investing in the stock market as an additional source of wealth creation. As a matter of fact, Morgan Stanley estimate that there are 70 million new individually brokerage accounts opened in 2021. This influx in independent investors creates a host of problems. Identifying where to start in the stock market, identifying which investments qualify based on investment strategy, as well as identifying what information is even relevant and how does that information impact investment portfolios. As a solution, Investment Neighbor identifies questions that are most relevant to these industries and markets, as well as hit the ground to engage parties who are most familiar with the subject matter to identify insights for the markets and industry. This primary research approach is essentially our competitive advantage and what makes us stand out. Things like focus groups, interviews, observations, and workshops are all some of the many methods we take when conducting due diligence in the industries and markets. In addition, this research serves as the base for our marketing strategy. We allow free access to snippets of insight and content that derives from our primary market research. And then we allow for investors to purchase individual reports if they're interested in one subject based in the industry or the market. And then we allow for unlimited access through our monthly subscription. Our main competitors include Motley Fool, Investor Place, and Seeking Alpha, which all have a larger brand recognition than Investment Neighbor. However, where we compare is our primary research approach, as well as our competitive subscription fees. I am the founder, Naquan Willett. I'm an E-Fellow, Real Estate Fellow here at the University of Baltimore. Previously, I served as the president of the Anne Arundel Community College E-Club. I have 3 years of consulting for family and friend ventures, as well as 2 years of experience consulting for businesses outside of friends and family. Today, I asked for $30,000, which will assist in web development, creating research reports, as well as working capital for operations and marketing. And here's a milestone of how the funds will be allocated, as well as where the company plans to be based on the illustrated dates. Who's ready to beat the market?
Great job, Naquan. All right, judges. Ethan, why don't you start us off? Do you have a question for Investment Neighbor?
So in terms of the competitive fees for the service, can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. So monthly, we charge $12.99 for unlimited access without advertisement, and you get full access to our primary research reports. Motley Fool, Investor Place, and Seeking Alpha all have way higher monthly fees. Seeking Alpha is the closest to us, which is $19.99 on a monthly basis. But even that subscription fee, it's limited information that you're getting access to. It's not ad-free, like they still have ads on the website for subscribers. And if you want that additional information and to avoid that advertisement, then you have to pay $2.99 a month. And a lot of times this doesn't include primary research as far as like analyzing different companies and industries. So it's a much bigger difference in the value received for the price that you're paying.
Can you hear me clarify something? So the idea is that I myself am an individual who's interested in the markets. I'm a customer.
Yes.
I have a platform to go to get information based on already pre-collected research through your market research to help direct my potential investment behavior, right? Correct. The question I have then is, given what you shared about how you're going to do the primary research, how scalable is that? I mean, because obviously the market is huge, a lot of different sectors and industries.
Right.
How do you go about making sure that you have information up to date, relevant, to help me make an informed decision?
That's a great question. So with this funding specifically, our first phase was going to be to cover publicly traded companies like in the Baltimore area, and then kind of advance to like statewide and regional companies. But now we're also going to engage our retail following. So we're going to conduct surveys and ask, okay, what are your biggest concerns about the market? What are your biggest interests? And based on that, we can kind of tap into our online resources to try to like, you know, everything's virtual now. We can get a virtual interview from a middle manager who's in the industry. We can be flexible, but as of now, the primary research is going to be Baltimore, Maryland, and regional surrounding areas. And we'll scale up based on that. So we'll most likely bring on people to conduct that primary research.
So selfish interest, what you're telling me basically is you can give me the T. Rowe Price investment strategy in a dummy down version so I can follow their lead.
Exactly, essentially. Okay. And it's long term, so it won't be like you invest today and then tomorrow you make your profit. So, right.
Nice job, Naquan. You know, education's important. I'm a youth wrestling coach, and I came in one evening, and I had a 14-year-old boy who lost $100 investing in a stock in Robinhood.
Right.
And he had no idea what he was doing. So So it's good to see what you're looking to do. So that I understand a little bit better, are you going to be advising clients on where to invest, or is it purely educational?
Purely educational and opinion-based as well. So we're not certified advisors, so it's a whole legal restriction as far as what we call it. So we don't call it recommendations. We're presenting all of the information so it's easier for you to interpret and make an informed investment decision. The most we'll probably do is highlight what our favorite investments are based on the research that we conducted.
So the only way that you make money is through the subscription?
Subscription, individual purchases of research reports. So let's say that we cover the artificial intelligence industry. There may be someone who say, okay, I don't really care about what's going on in the food industry, but I'm really interested in AI. So they might just individually purchase that report, or they may subscribe just to have access to all the reports, because you're going to pay about $8.99 to $9.99 for an individual report. So why not subscribe for them? And that's what mindset we believe that they will have.
Sorry, last question. Is there any issue? So if you're sharing Seeking Alpha's information to your broad audience,
right,
is there any liability there? Are you allowed to do that?
That's a great question. You know, online publishing is really tricky. I don't think we would take that route because there is such a risk in copywriting and things of that nature. And either way, our approach is different. So we're doing the financial analysis, analyzing the 10Ks and things like that. But overall, we're going out there talking to customers, managers, and even industry association representatives to find out. So it wouldn't be no need to copy anything because our approach is totally different.
Gotcha. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Going once, twice? Great
Have a
job,
nice one.
Naquan. Thank you. All right, while the judges are tallying their scores, just want to take another second to remind you all to go to slido.com, punch in our code 326739, and vote. As I said, $1,000. That's a big deal, certainly for an aspiring business like Investment Neighbor, like the four you've seen so far. And that brings us essentially to our midway point. And as the judges are finalizing their tallying, I want to share that secret that I mentioned before. And I'd like to invite, via the magic of the internet, Mustafa Waheed from Pitch Creator to say a few words and deliver the first prize of the evening, the Pitch Creator Hustle Award.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mustafa Waheed, the Director of Operations over at Pitch Creator. And this year, we are excited again to be an educational partner for the Rise to the Challenge Pitch Competition. We were able to help the student CEOs who were selected to be a part of this prestigious pitch competition by providing them access to our flagship online foundation course, and also through one-on-one coaching. So part of the reason why we do the Hustle Award, we believe at Pitch Creator that grit, persistence, and hustle leads to long-term entrepreneurial success. That's why we are excited again to offer Pitch Creator's $500 Hustle Award at the University of Baltimore's Rise to the Challenge Pitch Competition. We feel that this year's participant really embodied those characteristics by showing up each day, by doing the work that they needed to do, and got better each time they practiced their pitch. So, without further ado, the winner of this year's Pitch Creator Hustle Award is Clarissa Cozart from Tailored Fit. Now, pre-COVID, we would give out $500 as part of the Hustle Award in a mason jar, so as a cash prize that they could take home. But this year, the winner will win the $500 via PayPal. We want to thank the University of Baltimore and all the stakeholders that was able to make this amazing event possible. And we're looking forward to seeing a great long-term entrepreneurial success. Thank you.
All right. So pre-COVID, they would present you with a big jar full of $20 bills all rolled up for $500, but you'll get it via PayPal. Which is what, the modern era, right? Great. Congratulations again. All right, so now we're moving on to our existing business category. And I'd like to bring out our first contestant, Adriana Duval, the creator of Single Bays, which offers custom shirts that showcase a person's interests and hobbies so they can meet someone in real life, not online. Adriana, great.
Hi.
Hey,
Thank
welcome.
you. Hi, my name is Adriana. I do own Single Bays. Let's see, is this the button that I need? Oh, the two. Ah, that makes sense then. Here's a QR code. You may gander about my website as I tell you about my pitch, if you prefer. So about me, I've been an independent contractor since I was 16. I've worked for myself. Once or twice, maybe I've worked for a couple other people, once for a title company and a law office. But otherwise, very much so working for myself, one as a photography company, one as a venture. I worked with a venture capitalist for residential investment portfolios. So right now, I have just started Single Bays. This is a customizable conversation apparel where you can put your interests and hobbies on the back of it. I think we all know due to COVID that we haven't really had an opportunity to converse with each other like we used to. A lot of times we're so absorbed in our phones. I'm so interested in other people's shirts and their apparel. I don't mind starting a conversation with other people, but I do notice there is this problem these days where sometimes conversations can't be started. So I actually have struggled with online dating. I don't know if any of you have tried that. It sucks. So I hated it. So I was like, how can I figure out how to start a conversation that I want to have with a person that I may be interested in? And I was scoring online, and I have never been able to find it. So I actually decided to do this company because I thought it was interesting. A lot of the problems with online dating is that, a lot of women feel uncomfortable with online dating. As much as 53% of women feel like online dating is not a safe place to meet anyone. Dog ear filters, the scammers, time wasters, all of these things contribute to why a lot of people don't like online dating at all. And although technology has been a primary mode of communication, there is this desired need to meet somebody in person and to meet them and to see whether or not things click. So wearing personalized conversation starters increases the chance of meeting somebody that is also interested in your hobbies and interests, of course, as if I had, for instance, on the back of my shirt here, if you also are a Redditor, you could start a conversation with me about what my favorite subreddit is, which is currently stapling bread to trees, just in case you're interested. It makes no sense to some of you would get it. Meeting person in real life eliminates a lot of the negatives that come with online dating, and I figured this is a problem that can clearly be solved very simply. So right now, there's a few things that I'm doing. I'm working with a couple bars and social locations in Fed Hill, one in Fells Point, in regard to having a singles event meetup with my shirts on discount. Online marketing ads have been quite a good reach. I've reached close to 50,000 people just online. There's also organic reaches that have gone to my website. Right now, I'm also looking to do a newslettering, offering single events and meetups. So right now, there is 110.6 million different Americans who are single and unmarried. This accounts for about 45.2% of all US residents. Even if I were to get less than 1% of these people to buy one t-shirt, that would be a marketable cost of, or a market revenue of $480,000. And although I have been talking about singles, this isn't just necessarily about singles. I also, with every purchase, donate a portion of these proceeds into help cleaning the Baltimore Harbor. So, as I vocalized before, I have talked to a few people about this idea, and they were interested in buying it just for the sole fact that it is environmentally focused also. So it's not just singles necessarily. Right now, some of the competitors are Volo. Some of us may be familiar with that. It's a sports meetup that some people get into to meet other people, which is great, but I happen to go to the gym. I'm very much an introvert. I'm not doing social hobbies. I'm not outside in the heat playing softball. You can catch me in a gym. I will be in the free weight section. So although Volo is great and I think it's awesome, there are different alternatives to this. Thursday is a great dating app that has single meetups, and they do it more like a mass, we are all going to this location for a single meetup. I think that's cool. I don't particularly see any of these as being like a full-fledged competitor, as any of these items can be done, with one another. Etsy, of course, but I mean, that's kind of just random customizable shirts. So I will admit that I am right in between existing and non-existing businesses as of right now. I'm right in between the two. So I did want to discuss the reaches and impressions that over the last month my business has had. Quite a bit over Facebook and Instagram. I also work with Google Analytics quite closely. I do monitor them and the words and phrases used and how that's going about. My target funds, I'm hoping for about $5,000 more or less. I do need different materials. I am working with vinyl right now. This one's great. This one works really well. But there is, right now, I'm trying to find a rainbow vinyl that goes well for the LGBTQ community, for my label to be in rainbow. I think that's fun. But otherwise, a local garage would be nice to work out of instead of my apartment. And then local advertising and marketing, and then just a potential working marketing, or working capital otherwise. So, questions, concerns, comments?
Great job, Adriana.
Thank you very much.
Tamira, you want to start us off?
Yes. So how do you go about scaling this and protecting your brand? Because everyone owns a Cricut and vinyl and can, do this. So how do you protect that and how do you scale this?
I have been monitoring this for quite a while. I've been waiting for something like this to happen. I've been sitting on this idea for several years. So if somebody wants to pop up and do this themselves, I think that that's wonderful. It's part of the American system, sure. But as far as, apparel is one of those things you actually are unable to copyright it. I'm very aware of this. Louis Vuitton bags there's counterfeit ones everywhere. So as far as that goes, I can only copyright my label, which I'm happy to do. I'm in the process of doing so. But you're absolutely right. Somebody absolutely can. If they want to, they can knock it out. I have the added benefit of absolutely donating every portion of the proceeds going to the Baltimore Harbor, cleaning it. I think that's great. If somebody wants to counterfeit that and just do that, you're absolutely right. They probably could. Yeah.
Other questions?
2 questions. How much does the shirt cost, and what are dog ear filters?
Dog ear filters.
Oh,
Yeah. No, it's just filters in general. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I was just reading about it. It was like 80% of people use filters on their dating apps. But your first question. So working with vinyl and the t-shirts, between the women's and men's shirts, women's are slightly more expensive, about $7 a t-shirt with vinyl and everything else included. Men's are about $5.
What are you going to sell it for?
I am selling them for $32. So a profit about over 70%.
And do you expect people to wear this outside of an event, or is this just
this is just your daily beater or at an event. Any day, I guess, you feel like having a conversation with somebody. They work. I've worn mine out, and I've had plenty of conversations with people with everything on the back of my shirt. So I promise they work.
Great job.
Thank you.
I feel so underqualified to ask a question because my version of online dating was Black Planet. It's been a while. That said, what would you say is your primary revenue driver? Is it just simply selling T-shirts to one individual at a time, or is it like the event-based activities, so you do these activations and then you can drive revenue through group sales that way?
So right now I'm working with both because I'm at a place where, although I do have business experience background, it's absolutely nothing to do with this. So at this point, I'm working on all positions and seeing where that goes. I myself wear my shirt. I tell people about my shirt. I have my friends wear their shirt, and that's going well. But I also, like I said, I am working on-ground marketing. I am working with different locations to help kind of see where that goes. My t-shirt's on discount, so both is my answer to you. Yep.
Anyone else? Any other questions, Ethan? No? All right. Great job, Audrina.
Thank you
you very much. right. Once again, just a reminder to make sure you vote for your favorite. And as the judges are tallying after our last presentation, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors and our partners. Pridgeon Family Entrepreneurship Fund, the Joseph Carton and Harvey Silberg Venture Fund, the J. Ripley Entrepreneurship Fund, the University of Maryland Center for Advanced Ventures, ZMB Media Focal Point, they're the guys with the cameras who are making all this happen here tonight and all over the internet, Pitch Creator, which you just saw, and Pixelated, which I hope you will use the photo booth. Pixelated is a small company out of Baltimore. They've been doing this photo booth thing for years. So cheers to them as well. The funding and the support